What's happening, guys? The trailer for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game is finally here. You can watch it down below, the links in the description box. And I'm going to do my short breakdown and basically my initial thoughts on the trailer as overall and what do I think about it. So let's start right now. The opening shot is Oscorp Tower, and on the background Kraven's voice, he's the narrator. He basically tells Spidey that you left Killer go, he's on his killing spree, presumably talking about Uncle Ben's killer. And then we see this shot of Buddy, and there is a CK or GK graffiti nearby and apparently a school or something. So another shot is also a body. So basically the killer, Uncle Ben's killer, is on this spree, on his killing spree, and Spidey needs to stop him. Really cool shot. B-next, we make webs attached to the buildings. Okay, so Spidey is now swinging down just like in the movie trailer. Overall, I must say the city looks pretty good. It's a huge improvement over the previous game, and on the PS4, Xbox One, the graphics will look even better. And here is probably your example, our example of the manual web swinging, the one we've been talking about for quite a while now. You can see that Spidey, you will be actually able to boost your speed during this speed using both triggers, control triggers, so that's awesome. Now this is Peter Parker. Some investigation work. As we do know, Peter Parker, you will be able to play as Peter Parker when you put your Spidey's costume in the wardrobe and do some investigation work, like take some photos, and it's really cool. And apparently he's dressed like Peter Parker from the first game, from the first movie, and he has kinda like the similar hairstyle, so that's really interesting. And yeah, Spidey walks down the street, probably trying to find a killer. On the background we once again hear Kraven the Hunter telling Spidey that he has great powers but he is not using them. He didn't use them to stop the killer. And right here Peter is obviously analyzing some kind of photos. I think there is a Times Square and basically locations in New York City, probably the locations of where the bodies were found in the beginning of the trailer. The killer is on his killing spree and Peter needs to find him. And B-next just recently they said that you will be able to, in this game you will have basically two safe places. They didn't say precisely what type of safe places, but presumably it's like Aunt May's house or like, you know, Peter's own apartment, Peter's own house. I'm not sure what happens with Gwen Stacy, and you can check out my previous video on my initial thoughts on this game and how I think the story will turn out. But if Gwen Stacy isn't in this game, obviously Peter Parker lives alone. So this one might be his apartment, inside of his apartment. Now this looks more like Peter Parker in some sort of museum. It's probably Kraven's place. Yeah, it's definitely Kraven's place. Nope, Chuck Testa. Now we've got Kraven the Hunter himself. And he basically tells Spidey, and he basically tells Peter Parker, allow me to help you. So presumably, since Peter is inside Kraven's place and he's right here, I think Kraven knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Well, it doesn't really matter. Kraven in this game appears to be some sort of mentor, some sort of teacher for Peter Parker. I think he will help us during the whole game, and that's a really very, you know, interesting take on the character. And it wasn't used like this before, at least in the game, and it does remind me of the whole story with the Peter Parker, with the Kraven and the Black Suit Spidey, when Kraven managed to defeat Spidey. He put him in the grave, basically he shot him and he placed him in a grave, and thanks to a symbiote Peter managed to escape. He found Kraven and Kraven told him that basically, I finally defeated you, like, you know, I can finally die in peace. And he was kind of a mentor in this story, and it's really interesting that maybe they will try to, you know, adapt this story here. Now costume, whoa, the costume looks amazing, looks really cool. I mean, just like in the movie, on the background you can see actually a bridge, and on the official box art you can see a breach. Maybe they're like teasing us that hey, you will actually be able to go to Queens, not only swinging in Manhattan. You know, usually the breach is what stops us from going out of the map, city map, but maybe this time we will actually be able to go to Queens, for example. Now some sort of fellas packing things, probably a robbers or something. And Craven on the background says that I will make you what you were meant to be, the ultimate hunter. Okay. Some of Spidey's webs actually during the trailer are colored black. Now this isn't symbiote most likely, this is probably the part of the hero or menace system. We do know that there will be such system in the game where your actions will actually affect the main story. You can do bad stuff, you can be a good guy, and maybe these sort of webs are actually indicating that someone chose the black path, like the dark path, where he is actually a menace. Now the trailer in terms of action scenes, it looks kinda similar to the previous one. And here is a gang member from the first trailer, teaser trailer. I don't know, he might work for Uncle Ben's killer after all. Or he is the Uncle Ben's killer, the one we've been talking about through all the trailer. Another shot, well, swinging, yes, it looks beautiful. Now this shot is the exact same shot from the first video game trailer. And this looks like it might be some sort of facility, maybe Oscorp. And yeah, we've got some really nice moves, Spidey web zips an enemy. Actually an old school move for a Spidey video game. Spidey inside a sort of train cab, maybe this is an abandoned like train station, maybe this story will actually tie with the movie story and it might be Richard Parker's lab, or he's on his way to Richard Parker's lab, or it's just actually some sort of subway, nothing to do with Peter's parents. And of course on the background Craven says that don't forget that whatever you do, it defines who you are, so that you can be the hero or menace. So apparently this system is like promoted big time in this game. It's like the biggest thing about this game, that your actions will affect your story and you either are good or bad. Being a huge fan of, for example, a Fallout series, Fallout games, Fallout 3 for example, and you know, New Vegas, where you can actually had this sort of karma. And since I'm a huge fan of these sort of games, and you know, the karma in this game, that's what it might look like. Your actions will actually affect. You will do something bad and you will get bad points, like, well, you're evil and then you're good. Sort of like the karma in Fallout series probably. And the final shot, whoa, beautiful. Not really the final shot. There's something else really cool right now after these titles, and that is Electro Jamie Foxx, who completely doesn't look like Jamie Foxx, honestly. Now we see Electro, and the game presumably takes place after the movie in the alternative storyline, or it will be just a movie story done differently. Now check out my previous video on my thoughts on the whole story as I mentioned previously, but yeah, we will see Electro in the game. He either, if it takes place after the movie, he escapes his prison, Ravencroft. Interestingly how he gets his costume back, but never mind. Or it's a completely different story, it involves Electro. Of course there will be Electro, I mean, why not? This is a great promotion for a movie, there has to be an Electro in the game. So yeah, it's either takes place after the movie or it's a completely different story involving Electro. Let me know what you guys think on the trailer. Personally, well, honestly I wasn't expecting something a little bit different. It looks like more of a Craven game, like you need to follow Craven during the whole game. Well, of course that Craven is just a mentor, he's supposed to be just a mentor, just a hunter, but it's kind of probably, I guess, interesting that you will have this sort of mentor, not Aunt May, but actually Craven. I don't think we'll get any more footage like the cinematic and trailers until the release. Probably some gameplay footage, actually, some sort of leaked gameplay footage, but of course the mechanics and the combat system, it looks improved, it's supposed to be improved, and I can't wait to try out the hero and menace system. And the graphics are kind of improved, but you know, guys, this game won't focus on Kraven. It's what I didn't like about this trailer, that basically the whole trailer focused on Kraven and Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure the game will have lots of cool stuff. As you can see right here, it's actually Electro. So it will have Electro and some other A-list villains. Been excited before that it will have more A-list villains. So the trailer is a little bit misleading, I suppose. It's like, what? I'm supposed to follow Kraven during the whole game? No, you're not supposed to follow the Kraven. He's just sort of a mentor, just like Atlas in BioShock games, you know. It's... yeah. The trailer might be a little bit misleading, might be a little bit too short, and it did show the footage, it did show Spidey's webs attaching to the buildings, so it's really nice. I think that they showed the combat system, but overall, yes, I was expecting something else, but I'm happy with what we've got. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'm off now.